What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of China Update, where I provide you guys with the most up-to-date political, economic, and geostrategic analysis on the world's number 2 economy. My name is Tony. Let's jump in. Okay, happy Monday, everybody. I hope you all had a lovely weekend and now have a productive week ahead of you. As I record this, Communist Party Politburo member and China's highest-ranked diplomat, Yang-Sullivan, is meeting with US National Security Advisor Yang-Sullivan today, Monday, in Rome. This meeting was first announced in Chinese state media and soon after confirmed by the White House. Now, as I record this, the meeting has not yet concluded, but I will be following it closely, and I hope to do a deep dive into any foreign policy shifts or signals that may come out of it. This is the first high-level in-person talks between China and the US since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Also, this is a meeting with Yang Jiechi, who outranks Wang Yi, China's foreign minister. Typically, but not always, Wang Yi speaks when China is communicating established or mid-level foreign policy points. Yang Jiechi carries more authority and speaks when China is shifting key foreign policy or when warning about red lines. As such, this meeting may signal a softening position towards the Ukraine and the wider war, or even a flip. There is also speculation that China may be positioning itself to be a peacemaker, a diplomatic win where it comes across as a responsible, peaceful power while maintaining healthy relations with both the Europeans and Russia. However, this would be a very difficult diplomatic coup to pull off for many of the reasons we have discussed in previous videos. Up until now, much of the official media coming out of China, as well as the official diplomatic line, was to blame the war on NATO and the Americans and express support for Russia. However, perhaps Beijing is reconsidering the wisdom of these positions. At the moment, we can't be sure, but tomorrow or Wednesday, we will discuss the results of the Yang-Sullivan talks. Next up, it has been a bad week for Chinese stocks. While global financial markets and investors have been feeling the pain over the last few weeks, the bleeding has not been quite as bad as what US-listed Chinese stocks have seen over the last week. The Nasdaq Golden Dragon China Index closed down 10% on Friday at the lowest level it has seen in almost 7 years, posting its 4th straight week of losses. Chinese ride-hailing giant Didi Global Inc.'s shares plunged an incredible 44% on Friday after the company suspended preparations for its planned Hong Kong listing. It's believed that the company has been unable to appease Chinese regulators' demands that it overhaul its systems for handling sensitive user data. Analysts at Bloomberg's intelligence unit express, quote, worries over the economic impact from rising inflation, a resurgence of COVID-19 cases, and mounting tensions between Washington and Beijing have combined with added clampdowns to send Chinese shares on a wild ride. End quote. You guys who have been watching China Update know too that renewed concerns of regulatory crackdowns on the sector is a massive factor also. Indeed, technology companies in China should expect more pain this year. Investors are catching on too. Last week, technology companies including Pinduoduo Inc. and Baidu Inc. each lost more than 10% in share value. And the situation is even worse for the first group of Chinese stocks named by the United States SEC as part of its crackdown on accounting practices by foreign firms. 4 of the 5 companies each saw share prices drop over 20% last week. The SEC said these businesses may violate the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act, which bans trading of stocks of companies if audit papers cannot be checked for 3 straight years by the US Public Company Accounting Oversight Board. More companies may also be in their crosshairs in the coming months. Massive hits to equity prices of Chinese stocks are also in part due to fear and volatility. One portfolio manager at GAM Investment Management in Zurich, speaking to financial outlet, expressed, quote, "The selling was indiscriminate. While many funds have transferred or plan to convert their holdings from ADRs to Hong Kong shares, retail investors, family offices, or some financial advisors may simply sell. Such selling pressure could lead to heightened volatility." End quote. An ADR, or American Depository Receipt, is a US bank-issued certificate representing shares in a foreign company for trade on American stock exchanges. One investment banker, speaking to Chinese financial outlet Caixin Media, expressed, quote, "The entire Chinese-American depository receipt asset class has become uninvestable. Everybody wants out. Nobody is staying." End quote. And last up, we're going to talk about the lockdowns and the serious outbreak situation in the Chinese mainland. If you guys are enjoying the content, as always, don't forget to hit the like button. It's a huge help, as always, for a small channel like this, and I really appreciate the support. If you're watching for the first time and you're enjoying the content, maybe you're getting some value from it, I release one of these each day. Maybe consider subscribing and you'll have the most up-to-date analysis as I release these every day. Okay, carrying on. After stamping out the original Wuhan breakout in 2020, mainland China, through a very strict, expensive, and highly disruptive zero-tolerance COVID policy, managed to keep cases limited to small, sporadic outbreaks for well over 18 months. This did include some high-profile lockdowns, however, the biggest being the ancient city of Xi'an a few months ago. Now, however, things look very different. New official cases have jumped from dozens a day to thousands a day in just over a week. Beijing has a choice: loosen restrictions and slowly open back up, managing surging cases best one can, or further tighten restrictions and lock down large parts of the economy and country at tremendous economic cost. Signs and moves from officials over the last few days point to the latter being the preferred way forward for policymakers. Over the weekend, travel restrictions and residential lockdowns were imposed in China's financial hub, Shanghai, as well as the Southern Technology Center of Shenzhen. These are not provincial backwaters. These are economic powerhouses, megacities, the beating hearts of both the Yangtze and Pearl River deltas, the economic engines of the country. Shanghai's 25 million residents were told not to leave the city unless absolutely necessary. Those permitted to leave also have to do a COVID test 48 hours before the trip. Starting today, Monday, over 700 bus lines in and out of Shanghai have been halted. Flights at the city's two airports have been reduced by almost 90%, although I'm still trying to confirm this number as being correct, but at the very least, flights have been substantially cut back. Restrictions in the southern city of Shenzhen are even tighter. Indeed, the city has essentially been put under lockdown. Starting today, Monday, all non-essential businesses are to suspend operations until at least March 20th. Essential operations include water, electricity, fuel, telecommunications, environmental hygiene, and food supply, as well as supplies to Hong Kong. All residential communities and industrial parks are to be locked down, while anyone leaving the city must take a virus test within the previous 24 hours and get permission to leave. Officials implementing this de facto citywide lockdown are likely looking nervously at both new local cases, but also at the explosion of cases across the border in Hong Kong, which we have covered in detail over the last week or so. So that's Shanghai and Shenzhen, but there is one other city that we need to discuss quickly too: Changchun, capital of Jilin province in northeast China, and a major auto manufacturing hub sitting in the province that borders both North Korea and Russia, has also implemented a citywide lockdown of its 9 million residents and ordered 3 rounds of mass testing. Residents must stay at home except when they need to go out to get tested. and one family member from each household will be permitted to buy food and other necessities only once every 2 days. Non-essential businesses have been shut, and public transportation services, including buses, taxis, and the subway, have also been suspended. New coronavirus infections are being reported in dozens of locations across 16 provinces, as well as all 4 provincial-level megacities, Beijing, Tianjin, Shanghai, and Changchun. Yet signs point to an effort to still continue to try to limit cases and stamp out infections, no matter the cost. Hey guys, I'd love to hear what you thought about some of the updates we covered in today's episode, so throw your comments below. Always love hearing from you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.